The relationship between the key of the harp you're playing, the position you're playing in, and the key of the song, tune, melody, or noise you end up making is a very useful thing to understand. If you don't understand it yet, then you'll want some help with that. And if you do understand it, then you'll realize that sometimes it can be better to have a little support on the thing that you already know to help you focus on the thing that you don't. Well, we've got Harp Guru for all of that. First, we'll look at how the relationships are modeled and the basics of controlling them. Then we'll look at some applications of this knowledge where Harp Guru can help you transpose riffs, discover positional playing without intimidation, break down and understand the magic behind your favorite riffs, help you squeeze everything you can from the harps that you have, and even convince you to buy more harps. Alright, so we're just going to jump straight in, okay? If you've ever heard of keys and positions, then you'll be fine. If not, then you might need to do a little research first. If you play a C harmonica in first position, then you are playing in the key of C. And if you play a C harmonica in second position, then you are playing in the key of G. These are two facts which we learn really early on in our harmonica studies. Why these are true is something we'll come to understand soon, but let's just start with those assumptions. Knowing that, and with a little explanation perhaps, it's clear what these menus are showing us. It's telling us for a C harmonica what key we'll be playing in each position. And it's also telling us which of these options is currently selected, both on the menu scroller and in the labels either side of the scroller, just in case the selection is off screen. So first position is C, second position is G, ninth position is A flat, and you can see that as I select these options, something's changing on the harp face in the background. I've only highlighted the root note on the harp face, and as you can see, when I change position from first position to second position, the root note's location is moving from the one-hole blow to the two-hole draw, and all the other associated holes. Let's close the menu and look at the harp face a little bit closer. We've currently got the harp face labelled with scale degrees, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., where the root note is 1 on the one-hole blow, and the pitches are identified down the left-hand legend, which starts on the root note, which here is C. Now we can swap these around so that the pitches are on the harp face, and the degrees are listed in the left-hand legend. So now we can see that the one-hole blow is labelled as C. Playing C on a C harmonica, remember, is first position. Now remember what the root note of second position was on a C harmonica. It was G, right? And where do we find G? It's on the two-hole draw, which is exactly where we saw our root note move to when we were playing with the options in this positions and keys menu. So that's how you use Harp Guru to see how position and song key vary together. But what if you don't know which harp you're going to be using? What if all you know is that you'll be playing in second position, for example? Well, if you make sure that second position is selected here, then when you come to the next menu, you'll be shown which harps you'll need to play in second position to achieve any song key. So in second position, if you want to play in the key of F, then you will need a B flat harp. And if you use a C harp, you'll be playing in G, as we already know. And again, you can do the same thing with song key as your unchanging option. If the song you're playing along to is in the key of G, then you can either use a B flat harp in fourth position, a B in ninth, a C in second, or any of these options. And you can see them all listed here. And if the song key changes to A, then you can just go back to the previous menu to choose the song in A, and come back here to see that all the options here now show you how to play a song in A. So far so good? It's not the most simple idea, so it's not surprising that the tool might appear a little confusing at first, but what we've just been through in a couple of minutes is all you need to know for the basics. And with the basics, you'll be able to do all of the following. If you only have one harp and you want to play along to a tune in any key, well, there is a position for that, and you can find it with just 3 taps on your phone screen. If your friend can only accompany you in one key, but you're bored of jamming in the same position every night, then you can play a new harp in a different position and make both yourselves happy. If you refuse to play in anything other than second position, but you want to use all of your harps, then you'll be wanting to know which key each of them will be producing. Now it's totally possible to do all of those things in your head, and I dare say that everyone is at least capable of memorizing this logic for first, second and third positions in C, G, D, A and E, for example. While you're learning, Harp Guru will support you, but even once you've got it, there are huge benefits in applying this tool not only to the keys and positions that you haven't learnt yet, but also just to give yourself enough headspace to focus your attention on new ideas which would otherwise become sidetracked with mental visualization challenges. Ideas like, I wonder if this riff can be played in another position. Now, it's also very good to be able to do that in your head, and you should practice it, but sometimes it's just not the interesting problem at hand, right? One of Harp Guru's key benefits is its ability to help you focus on your goals, whatever they are. So let's see some examples of the type of thing we might want to do. We're going to move pretty quickly here, but if I haven't already made a video on any of these subjects in more detail, all you have to do is ask. So let's start with that example of transposing riffs. And let's start with a popular riff. This is Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. Now that's something that a lot of people learn, and they usually learn it in second position, because why not? It's a classic second position riff, isn't it? Now it's not the most complex riff, but it's also not the most simple either. It's got 4 notes in it. That's more than half of a standard scale. Would you like to take a guess at how many other positions that riff can be played in? And how many of those do you think it's at least as easy to play as in second position? Now, would you like to rack your mind trying to figure that out? Or would you like to just do this? Come to the keys and positions menu. Let's say we want to play all of these riffs on the same harmonica. Let's just say C to make it easy. And that means that each riff will be in a different key as we move positions. Now you can see in the background on the harp face that as I'm changing position and key, the riff's scale degrees are moving around the harp face. Let's look at these. Let's start in third position. Okay, arguably that is easier in the middle register, and it's totally doable in the lower register if you can do some deep bends. Fourth position, look, all you need is an 8-hole blow bend. Let's move on to fifth. That is certainly available to intermediate players in the lower and upper register. Sixth, let's try that. Look, how easy is that? And how exactly easy is that? I'll cut to the chase. Even 7th, 8th and 9th have their intermediate options. All positions considered, only 10th and 11th require an overblow or an overdraw in every register. And knowing that for a fact has just taken 30 seconds. So if you're looking to do some kind of Westlife inspired endless 5th step key change parody, then you can find your confidence in planning that out with Harp Guru. And you don't need to feel bad that you couldn't visualize all of those positions in your mind. So what if we wanted to do the same thing, but we actually wanted to play along to the recording, which is in the key of G? Well, remember what we learned before? That means that we want to make sure that we've selected G as the song key, and then we go to the part of the menu where the song key is fixed, and that allows us to see all of the harps played in all of the positions which will produce a song in the key of G. And we can see that as we move through all of the positions, we'll see the same thing happen to the harp face as we saw before. The key difference this time is that we don't see the root pitch changing in the left-hand legend, and that's because Harp Guru is changing the key of the harp to make sure that the root note of each position is always G, since that's the key of the song we're playing in. So now if you need to play Smoke on the Water in G, but you only have a D flat harmonica, there you go. Well, now you know that it can still be done. Here's a situation I find myself in sometimes. I've read a melody from a transcript, and I just want to know whether I can play all those notes together on a harp. Well, let's just start with a harp in an odd-ish key, let's say A flat, and punch in the notes for a very not odd melody, let's say C, E, and G. Okay, that looks horrible. Surely there must be a better way. Well, yeah, there is. Watch this. Because now we have the notes on the harp face rather than the scale degrees, Harp Guru is going to prioritize maintaining those notes while we flick through the harp keys and positions, looking for a setup where these notes are easy to play. And it should be no surprise, here we go, to find that C, E and G are easily playable on a C harp. Now here, position and song key are kind of irrelevant actually. We've found a harp that can handle it. If we find out that the song is actually in G flat, then we can either recognize that we're going to be playing this song in 7th position on the C harp, or we can go back to searching through positions that we know better until we realize that playing C, E and G over a song in G flat is a little strange. In any case, you can see that changing position in song here has no effect on the notes which are being played, just the meaning or the value of those notes in the different contexts. If you look over at the left-hand legend, you can see how the scale degrees they represent is changing as we change positions. Alright, that leads nicely on to one of my favourite things to do with Harp Guru, which is to get a better appreciation of the relationships between positions and keys, and the context of the notes being played as those positions and keys change. Now that sounds complex, and it can be, but that's nothing to be afraid of. Music's as complicated or as simple as we make it. So a simple example here is to see how the root notes move through the positions. If we add in the 5th too, then we can see that the 5th in one position, let's start in 1st, is the root in the next. So the 5th on the 2-hole draw in 1st position is the root in 2nd position. 5th on the 4-hole draw in 2nd position is the root in 3rd position, and so on. And you can also use this to understand why some notes work over all the chord changes and some only work on 1 or 2. This application is really incredibly powerful, and you can find some dedicated videos on the subject, and I'll definitely be doing more in the future as well. This last demonstration is very instructive. If you've ever tried to get your head around the modes of the major scale, then you might enjoy this. Even if you've had bad experiences, you might enjoy this. Let's start by highlighting the notes of the major scale in 1st position. 1st position, major scale. There we go. Okay. Now let's keep those same notes highlighted while we change position by leaving the notes on the harp face rather than the scale degrees. So this is the process that we've seen previously. This time we've got the whole major scale highlighted. Now as we change position, we can see that the very same notes are making up different scales, which are being flashed to us as we're changing the settings. Okay? Same notes, different root note, different scale. And you can see that represented on the harp face in the background. It's a really cool way to get your head around this concept. Not to mention the fact that you can select scales from the scales menu and then see how manageable it is in your favorite positions. So for example, 5th position, someone's favorite, blues scale. Look at that. No one ever talks about the blues scale in 5th position, do they? But that is definitely a thing. And if you think that you will never use 5th position, well then you just haven't got Harp Guru yet. So that is how to control keys and positions in Harp Guru in a nutshell, with some ideas to inspire you into explorations all of your own. We've got all the angles covered here. Anything you can think of, I challenge you to not be able to do it in Harp Guru. And if you think of something, let me know, because that might be a feature that we need. Or maybe we just need to make an instructional video to show you how to do that. We've really only scratched the surface here, so if you want to give it a go yourself, you can download Harp Guru for both Android and iOS. And if you want to request video content on any specific question, then please do ask. I'll be back with more demonstrations, tips, lessons, and revelations in more videos soon, so please like and subscribe. It does us both a favour.